Welcome. I am Megan Bell. I'm the operations manager for Intern Nebraska and Nebraska Tech Collaborative, powered by Exarban. And Intern Nebraska is connecting Nebraska students and employers one paid internship at a time. So let's start with some introductions. Sherry, you want to get started?
Sure. I'm Sherry Vale. I'm the Dean of the College of Journalism and Mass Communications here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Hi, I'm Naomi. I'm a junior here at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Awesome. I'm so excited to hear all of the information you guys have today. So we always welcome opportunities to celebrate women in leadership throughout Nebraska. Can you tell us about your path to your leadership role at UNL, Sherry?
Sure. In some ways, I was a little bit of a reluctant academic leader. I was fully planning to go into the profession, was working in the profession, working in marketing, public relations, advertising. I started teaching on the side after I got my MBA and just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the research side. I was coming up kind of in my learning process was when Columbine happened, where Virginia Tech happened, when 9/11 and the Department of Homeland Security National Centers of Excellence started building up. So my research focus is very much in line of risk and crisis communication. So I started on that research side as well and really built up a research center at the University of Oklahoma, then got recruited to Kentucky to build a research center there and kind of got sucked into student crises, became department chair, associate dean, and eventually got tired of trying to fix things without the budgetary oversight to actually fix them, and went for a dean position here at Nebraska.
Wow, good for you. So we were actually brought together through a connection from Matt Wynn at Flatwater Free Press about your innovative journalism internship program to connect with students and communities throughout Nebraska through storytelling. So can you tell us more about the initiative?
Absolutely. This actually came out of a grant that we received from the Stanton Foundation. And the idea behind it was to keep smart, educated storytellers here in Nebraska and get them out farther into Nebraska. So the grant is built around placing interns in communities basically smaller than Lincoln and Omaha. So we have reached out to the communities. We focused first on local newspapers, and then we moved into radio, television, and now have started adding community organizations as well. The original idea was kind of split the costs, and now how we've ultimately got it lined out is that the employers pay those student interns $15 an hour. And then that would be an opportunity for them to be able to apply for a grant to recoup half of those costs. We'll actually provide the funding for the housing. So that's been actually one of the bigger challenges in some of the communities. For example, we wanted to get someone out in Jeff Headley's shop out in Ogallala, but finding housing in Ogallala around Lake McConaughey in the summer, not really easy to do. So we weren't able to place out there, but we do have communities so far who are part of this grouping: Blair, Fairbury, Grand Island, Hastings, Norfolk, North Platte, Seward, and then we just added Lexington yesterday. So the other piece of this grant is that the students actually go into the communities in cohorts. So if the community can't take on at least 3 interns across all different organizations, we're not sending them out there. Part of that is that we want them to feel at home, feel like they're part of that community, keeping in mind a number of these interns aren't 21, they can't even go to the local bar. So finding a way for them to engage as young adults in these communities we thought was really important. And that also helps us a little bit on the housing by moving them out there together. We provide them with a laptop. We're providing them with some travel funds if they're covering stories in different areas, as well as camera and equipment for each community. So they might be working for the museum in the community, putting together stories that they would then share with the news organization that has another intern, and they'll be sharing equipment across those internships as well.
That is such a great opportunity, not only for the students, but also just the different communities. That's amazing.
It really gets them involved. That one of the stipulations we put in is that they have to engage them in the community. So they're talking about how do they put them into like their normal summer festival that they have is kind of leading some of those efforts as well.
Yeah, great cohort. Awesome. So as a student, can you tell us about your experience in the journalism program?
Yeah, so I'm from Omaha. I graduated from high school in 2021. We were kind of on the end, kind of on the end of coming out of COVID. So my transition to college, I was really grateful that I was able to kind of fully immerse myself when I got here. And I think having that year and a half of where so many things weren't possible, I think it just like propelled me to try as many things as possible, get as involved as possible, because when you experience that being taken away, it just means so much more. So when I got to college, I just definitely jumped right into everything I could. I've had multiple opportunities in the college and also around the university to really use storytelling as a way to connect people. So it's been a really good experience so far, and I'm really grateful to the college for connecting me to so many people across Nebraska. There, I think I was hesitant to stay in state for college, but after being here for 3 years, I don't see myself anywhere else.
That's good. That's our goal, right? I know, Sherry, you kind of touched base on this, but maybe some testimonials that you can share is how have you both seen communities impacted by this initiative?
So we're just rolling, it'll be happening for the first time this summer, this full initiative, but what I've seen in connecting with the potential employers, they're collaborating in areas where they, in some ways, would be competing for talent. So for example, up in Norfolk, we've got Bill Hughes and Andy Rubik, so Flood Communications, Norfolk Daily News, they both have radio stations as well, and they're working together on this. We have the mayor's office involved as part of the initiative as well to help identify some of these communities. Most of the internships that we found have been through others in that community. So we've started with the local newspaper, and then we go to the mayor's office and the Chamber of Commerce, and then they just start sending in all of the different leads that we should go after. So we have, on the journalism side, we have the newspapers, radio stations, TV stations for journalism and broadcasting, but then we also have folks who are going to be working with the state fair. So in Grand Island, we have some internships there that are on event planning and coordination on the advertising and public relations side. Talking to some folks about rodeo days for some of our sports media and communication majors. So it's across the college, and everyone needs strong communication. So it's really been a great opportunity to connect folks within that community in order to focus on bringing these interns in. I think adding it as a cohort and not just a one-off internship is what's made that difference.
Yeah. So going back to your experience as a student, and you were a little hesitant, what would you say to other students looking into the program to get the buy-in and not make them so hesitant about it, getting into it?
I don't think my hesitancy came from like this isn't a good place. I think it was like sometimes it gets in your head of like when you're in the Midwest, it's like you see so many opportunities, especially in journalism, I guess, on the coast. And so for me, that was the hesitancy of like, oh, if I stay here, I won't find a good media organization to work with. I won't have the same opportunities. So it wasn't hesitancy that this college wasn't sufficient, because it is. It most definitely is. I've worked with the Nebraska News Service. I've also worked in Husker Athletics. I also am now again at Flatwater. It's separate from the program that Dean is talking about, but it's still one of those opportunities where I'm realizing how rich journalism is in the Midwest, and to see that grow and actually be part of that has been really rewarding so far. And I'm only like 2.5 months in, but it's already proven to be like such a great experience for me, connecting with communities and just exploring what Nebraska has to offer.
That's amazing. Only 2 months in and you feel that way. So I can't wait to follow your journey. That's exciting.
Well, and consider too, Naomi has already had a front page story in the Lincoln Journal Star. So that came out of the connections with, I think that was out of Nebraska News Service, wasn't it?
That was Nebraska News Service in the fall, and then I had one this spring with Flatwater.
Amazing.
Just a note on what Nebraska News Service is, that's our statewide wire service. So it's actually the majority of the content comes out of our news lab, which is our senior capstone course for journalism and broadcasting. But you can also be part of Nebraska News Service as part of our experience lab, which is open to all students across the college. You spend at least 5 hours a week in one of our media outlets or agencies, but then all of those stories go out through the news service, through our website, and then out to our listserv where we have about 100 clients across the state, where then they can pick up those stories and run them like Naomi's was run on the front page.
Yeah, I was actually the student lead for that experience lab. And so being a junior, I was already able to kind of walk the road with freshmen and able, like, it's hard to be like, I'm a junior, I can offer advice. It's kind of crazy that I've had enough experiences in the last 2 years to be able to um, even talk to freshmen and sophomores and get that ball rolling as well. And I think that's really important. The more opportunities I get, the more I feel like I need to reinvest in the communities I'm in. So that's really what the space in my life that I'm at right now, I would say.
That's a great opportunity. So speaking of, what are some of the ways then community partners throughout Nebraska can work with you and your team to expand the reach and impact?
Let us know if they have an internship that's available. And if they aren't one of the communities that are currently listed on there, but they can get together with other community members to be able to propose it. We have space in the budget to be able to expand it farther because we've been able to also partner with local community colleges on the housing side. That's helped reduce some of our costs. So some of the students are going to be moving back into the dorms for the summer as part of this program. But others are going to be in like 3-bedroom apartments with full kitchens and gym memberships, and depending on what the communities are rolling out for them. So I would say if you're interested and you want to add to our list right now, the big focus is that it's got to be on storytelling, telling the stories of rural Nebraska. So it might be the stories of a hospital in rural Nebraska, a museum in rural Nebraska, and then also just, of course, on the community side with focusing on the news organizations as part of it too.
Great. We're going to turn it over to the audience. Any questions? We're going to flip over to Q&A. Any questions from the audience?
And I will drop in the chat the link to the journalism internship program right now. We're still adding internships as they come in. This will actually go live to students on Monday. So they'll be able to start applying for the internship program then, and they can choose the internship by community, by specific position, or just apply and have it be like Peace Corps rural journalism internship, where we just place them where it makes the most sense based on their background and experience.
Great, good. All right, we have no questions. So if you haven't already also checked out our website on internneb.org, head over there to learn more. Thank you so much, Naomi and Sherry, for being here. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.